South Korea ranks among the most densely robotized economies on the planet, with over 1,000 industrial robots for every 10,000 manufacturing workers, according to the International Federation of Robotics. But that number is old news. What is happening now is something different. Artificial intelligence is not just moving into factories, it is moving into classrooms, operating theaters, and hospital wards at a pace that has caught even policymakers off guard. The question this raises is not simply whether Korea is ready for AI. The question is whether any country has ever tried to adopt it this fast, across this many sectors, all at once. Korea's robot density of over 1,000 per 10,000 workers is the highest of any nation, according to the International Federation of Robotics 2023 report. The Korean government has committed over 1 trillion Korean won, roughly $750 million US, to an AI national strategy first announced in 2019 and expanded in 2023. The Ministry of Education announced plans to introduce AI digital textbooks across all primary and middle schools by 2025. In healthcare, the Korean Health Insurance Review and Assessment Service reported that AI-assisted diagnostic tools are now active in over 130 hospitals nationwide. And a 2023 McKinsey Global Institute report estimated that up to 23% of current work tasks in Korea's economy are susceptible to automation within the next decade. That is not a distant projection. The process has already begun. Three forces came together to make Korea one of AI's most aggressive early adopters. The first is demographic. Korea's fertility rate fell to 0.72 in 2023, the lowest ever recorded for any OECD country, according to Statistics Korea. With a shrinking workforce, automation is not a choice. For many industries, it is a survival strategy. The second force is industrial structure. Korea's economy is anchored by a small number of enormous conglomerates, Samsung, Hyundai, LG, that have the capital and the incentive to invest in AI at scale, and they have done so. The third force is government coordination. Unlike many Western democracies where AI policy moves slowly through fragmented institutions, the Korean state has historically treated strategic industries as national projects. The Ministry of Science and ICT issued a dedicated AI roadmap, and the National Assembly passed the Framework Act on Intelligent Informatization, giving regulators clear authority to push adoption forward. These three forces, demographics, corporate concentration, and state direction, created a pressure system with no release valve except acceleration. The gains are real, but so are the disruptions. Korea's manufacturing sector shed a significant portion of its routine assembly jobs through the 2010s, a trend the Korea Labor Institute has tracked closely and linked directly to automation. White-collar work is now entering the same cycle. Legal document review, radiology pre-screening, and financial data analysis, all fields that once employed thousands of Korean graduates, are being partially replaced by AI systems. The Education Ministry's AI textbook rollout has been met with unease from the Korean Teachers and Education Workers Union, which warns that it risks deprioritizing the human relationship at the core of teaching. In hospitals, smaller regional clinics that cannot afford AI diagnostic platforms risk falling further behind the large urban hospital systems that can, deepening Korea's already significant healthcare access gap between Seoul and rural provinces. The OECD has flagged this pattern in multiple reviews of Korea. Technology adoption that is fast at the top tends to widen inequality at the bottom. Korea is not a cautionary tale about AI, but it is a very clear preview of what happens when a society moves fast. The country offers the world a rare live experiment. What does AI adoption look like when demographic pressure removes the option to wait, when corporate power has the capital to act at scale, and when the state has both the will and the legal tools to push things forward? The pattern that emerges suggests that speed without redistribution creates fractures. The factories get smarter, the hospitals in Seoul get more capable, but the workers who operated the assembly lines and the small clinics in the countryside absorb the cost. Every country debating AI policy, from Germany's manufacturing towns to America's Rust Belt, will eventually face a version of the same pressure system Korea is navigating right now. The question is not whether this arrives, The question is whether the institutions are ready when it does.